Hey, what's up, guys? It's Randall from OddsJam back with you today to talk about OddsJam and all of the tools that we have to offer you as a sports bettor. So, for those of you that do not know me, I'm a former teacher. My goal today is to not put you to sleep like I put the children in my class to sleep while I was a teacher. I'm just kidding. But seriously, my goal is to engage you today and provide you with some knowledge to help you use OddsJam in a better way. So whether you've been with us for 5 months, 5 weeks, or 5 days, my goal when you leave this is to take something with you so that you can be more successful in your sports betting and become a profitable sports bettor. Also, shout out to all of my former kids. I love you. I miss you. Not enough to come back, though. Just kidding. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen here with you and just go over some of the tools that OddsJam has to offer. So if you are a new user or if you've been with us, like I said, there are some things that I want to touch on so that you are aware of what we have to offer. So first part is the getting started guide. This should be the very first place you go whenever you sign up for OddsJam. It's going to tell you everything that you need to know about our arbitrage betting, about our positive EV betting, our free bet conversion, low holds markets, as well as the middles betting tool, and then also just how to find the best odds with OddsJam. And I'm going to show you all of these tools in depth. We also offer a bet tracker, which I'm going to talk about as well. But before I continue, I forgot to mention this earlier. We are going to do a $1,000 giveaway at the conclusion of this video. So stay tuned. I'm going to drop some hints throughout about that giveaway and how you can enter it. So after you've gone through the getting started page on OddsJam, the next thing that you need to look at is the Sharp Betting blog. And this is just a great place to find articles and to educate yourself about sports betting. Are you interested in potentially becoming a DraftKings VIP? If so, here's some information on how you can do that. We've got a video, a short little write-up here as well. Are you interested in learning how to convert your free bets to cash? If so, here's an article. If you're interested in just sports betting in general, Kenny White, a guy that I know very well, he did a video for us. His daughter interviewed him. He tells a lot of good stories. All of this stuff can be found on our YouTube page. You can watch these videos. You can comment. You can like. You can share those. So this Sharp Betting blog is definitely a place to check out after you do the getting started guide. So the next thing that I'm going to go through are some of these calculators. So this calculator is probably my favorite whenever you are trying to figure out futures markets. I use this to place a bet on Michigan to win the national title. I know we've got some SEC homers in here, and Michigan obviously was killed by Georgia, but Michigan as a future was a plus EV play. It was about 4%. And what I did was I compared the odds from Pinnacle to the other sports books to find where the edge was. So, for example, if Pinnacle is offering plus 700 on a play and you can get plus 900. Actually, I'm sorry. On the yes/no market, let me back up. Let's say Michigan was plus 900 to win on Pinnacle and the no was minus 1,200. The fair odds would be plus 549, plus 550. This was a very similar example to what Michigan was. I was able to get them 7-1. This is not exact, but you can see, fix that there. You can see here, I've got this all messed up. Let me take a look here. So minus 1,200, I've got the odds wrong. That's what it is. Plus 900. So, You can see here the fair odds are plus 923. So if I can get anything above plus 923, this would be a good bet. Michigan allowed me to get a profitable bet at plus 700. This was not the exact line that I booked Michigan at, but just to give you an example of how this works and how you can use this for your futures market. And then we have the Kelly calculator that will help you manage your bankroll and determine your betting size on the plus EV page, which I'm going to go over here in just a second. But one thing that's very important is tracking your bets. And if you are not tracking your bets, then you're wasting your time as a sports bettor. If you're just betting day in and day out, you have no clue what you're winning, what you're losing, your profit and loss at the end of each day, your profit and loss at the end of each week, your profit and loss at the end of each month. Again, you're wasting your time, wasting my time. All right. Track your bets. It matters. Okay. You have to track your bets if you want to be a successful sports bettor. So this is very simple to do. You can actually track bets from every aspect on the website, or you can just choose to add your bet here. You can select your sports book. You can enter the market. You can enter the bet name. You put your odds in, how much you staked, leave it pending because obviously the game has not taken place. And then for the bet type, you can select where you got it from. So if this is just a bet that you're making on your own with no rhyme or reason as far as it not being plus EV or a free bet, you would just mark it as normal. So this is the bet tracker. I'm going to go over to the plus EV page here and show you guys how you add these bets to your bet tracker, and then a very unique feature that OddsJam has. So as you can see, we've got some live plus EV plays. Currently, you can get those for $9 a day. It's a 24-hour pass. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can take advantage of that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on and how I use these live odds every day to bet the NBA and make money. But back to tracking your bets. If you click the plus sign here, and let's say, for example, we're going to bet the Blue Jackets here because it's plus 250 and Pinnacle has it plus 222. We would just click this plus button. We would put how much we're going to bet, and then we would save it. And then if we hop over here to our bet tracker, we will see that it has been put in. Now notice the closing line value section is blank. If we wait just a little bit, this will actually update. It will show you what the line is on Pinnacle. So we'll hop back over here to the plus EV page. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about market width. So for example, you guys, if you've watched my videos before, you're probably very familiar with market width. If not, I'm going to give you a lesson on that today. Again, it's very, very important. It is the difference between the Pinnacle lines here. So the favorite and the underdog. So in this particular example, this would be a difference of 43 cents. So this would be a bet that I would not make. I'm looking for a market width somewhere between 15 and 25 cents in order for me to make that bet. So this is a perfect example. Vermont versus New Hampshire, minus 126, Vermont minus 10. New Hampshire plus 10 is plus 107. So we've got a 19-cent difference here in the market width, and we can get this same line on Barstool minus 109. So again, if this were a bet we were going to place, we would just put in our amount, we would save it, and then we would hop back over here to the bet tracker, and you can see that it puts your bet in. So we're still waiting on it to gather the data for the closing line value from Pinnacle, but this will update automatically. As you are placing bets, there will be a number that shows up here. One cool feature about OddsJam is if you place your bets, if you go up here to your profile in the top right corner and you click on bet tracker, you can actually turn notifications on. So what this means is if the closing line value actually becomes worse than what you betted at, you will get an email notification. You can then decide if you want to cash out your bet, let it ride, whatever you want to do. So this is very, very helpful. A lot of people do not know about this. When I talk to them on the phone, they have no idea that this exists. A lot of these sports books will allow you to cash out for the full amount if the number is worse than what Pinnacle was whenever you booked it. So just pay attention to that. We're still waiting on this to update at this current time, but this is very important. Turn this on. If you take your betting seriously, turn this on so that you know when the closing line is worse than what you booked it at. The next thing that I want to point out is the odds page. And on this page, you can see here that you can actually sort by league. So if you want to just look at college football, you can do that. If you want to just look at the NFL, you can do that. So if you don't want a bunch of games that you do not have any interest in by league, you can actually sort that. I'm going to go ahead and change my state here to California just because I want to show you all of the books that we offer. I think it's pretty cool when you see it on the screen here across the board. So you can see that these are all of the sports books that OddsJam has. And so when you look at this particular game, Ravens versus Steelers, you will see that the Ravens minus 225 is the best number out there. That's at Borgata and BetMGM. The best number if you're betting the Steelers is plus 215, and it's across a variety of books. So point being, if you're going to bet the Steelers this Sunday against the Ravens, why would you take plus 200 on DraftKings when you can get plus 215 on BetRivers? It just doesn't make any sense. Long term, you need to be getting the best number. And the cool thing about OddsJam is it is all highlighted in yellow for you so that you can see what those best numbers are. So I'm just going to flip it back over here to Illinois just to show you how it would look here if you're in a state that's specific, that has legalized sports betting. And you can just see the books that you have access to. So the best line on the Ravens for me would be minus 240. Points bet FanDuel. The best line for the Steelers would be plus 215. This is on the money line. You can look at the point spreads as well. So all of these are highlighted in yellow, showing you where the best odds are if you want to take the Ravens minus 4, if you want to take the Steelers plus 4. Now, in this particular instance, the best odds are on Pinnacle. So you would actually have to take that on DraftKings. That would be the next best. But OddsJam offers a variety of markets. If you look at we'll take a look at the NBA here, since we've actually got some games tonight. You can see the variety of markets that we offer in the NBA. Let me switch back to California here just so you can see the array of sports books. So if we click on this Grizzlies-Pistons game, we have all of this data, first half money line, all of these books. If you're interested in the first half, if you're interested in betting on the first basket, here are the best numbers for these particular players. If you want to know how many player threes, you can look at all of this on OddsJam. And if, let's say, for example, you want to bet Ja Morant over 1.5 threes, it's on Betfair, but maybe you don't have that particular book. So let's say we have BetRivers. You can actually click that, put your amount, save it, and it goes to your bet tracker. So you can actually track things directly from the odds page, which is nice so that you don't have to keep going back and forth to the bet tracker to add your bets. The next thing that I want to point out to you, and this is back to the betting tools, is the low holds page. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw this on New Jersey because it's a state with quite a few sports books. So if you ever have a free bet, a lot of times DraftKings will give out free bets or BetMGM will give out free bets. You can use this page to actually convert them into real cash. You can hedge your bets and you can get real cash. So last night they had a promo here in Illinois. It was the Nuggets and the Jazz, and you got $1 for every point that the highest player scored. So in the particular instance last night, Bogdanovich scored 36 points. So you bet $50 on the game. You got $1 for every point that was scored by the highest player. And it ended up being a $36 free bet. So what I did today with the customer was I showed her that she can go to DraftKings, you can filter this because this is where the free bet is from. So her free bet was from DraftKings. It was in the amount of $36. As you can see, you can sort this by hold or by conversion percentage. So I have it set to conversion percentage because I'm mainly using this to convert free bets, but we put in $36. We could hedge it. We could hedge it on the other side for 187, giving us $28 in cash. So you're able to turn this $36 free bet into ago, where they told me if I bet $3,000 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, then I could receive a free $350 free bet. So to use or to take advantage of that promo, you can come here and you can look at the hold. So I've sorted it by hold now, and you can take this, and I'm looking for anything that is a lower percentage, preferably zero, because I can bet whatever I want on this particular play. And I'm not going to lose any money. So I'm playing through my bonus and I'm not actually losing money. Sometimes I would bet something like this. I mean, I'm not going to lose a whole lot of money here. The hold is not very high, but you can use this to help you kind of get through those playthrough bonuses. The middles page is the next page that I'm going to talk about. And for those of you that have questions, I'm going to have a question and answer session at the end of this. So be patient with me. I just want to show you some things here that I think are very important with OddsJam. So I've put it back on New Jersey, and you can see here, these are our middle opportunities. These are currently all negative, but this is another place that you could potentially, play through some of that money that you need to, acquire a free bet. So Grizzlies minus 22 on Barstool is plus 350. The Pistons plus 22.5 is minus 351 on PointsBet. So you could bet this, and if the Grizzlies, were to win by 22, you would obviously push that bet, and then you would win the Pistons bet. So this is a negative percentage here. So you're going to potentially lose money. But there are a lot of times that you can catch some that have a little bit of positive return, and you have an opportunity again to hit both sides. So it's very, very a very cool page to take advantage of. Back over here to the positive EV page. One thing that I want to point out is it is very important to constantly refresh this page. If you don't want to sit here like I am and press this refresh button constantly, Google Chrome does have an extension. It's called Easy Auto Refresh. I would highly suggest downloading it. You can put in how often you want it to refresh. So 5 seconds, I start it. So then all I have to do is sit here. This page is going to refresh every 5 seconds for me. I don't have to click that button, and it'll show me the most updated odds. So I'm going to turn that off though, because I don't want the page to continue to refresh while we are doing this. So back to the plus EV. Again, I've talked a lot about this. It's very important. If you've watched my videos, it's important. It's market width. Okay, right here, minus 121, plus 105, 16-cent difference. This is a very tight market. This would be a play that I would potentially look to bet. Here's one here, 23 cents is the difference. This would be another play that I would potentially look to bet. Minus 145, plus 120, 25 cents. This could be a play that I would look to bet. So paying attention to the market width is very, very critical if you want to make money with plus EV betting. If you'll notice here, as you scroll down, there's some player props here. If that's something that you're interested in, you can find some positive EV player props as well. You can compare all of that to Pinnacle if that's something that you're interested in doing. Real quick, kind of in the middle of where I'm at, I just want to talk about this $1,000 giveaway that I mentioned earlier. So after this video is over, if you will go back and comment who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, If this video gets 1,000 likes, we will give away $1,000 to a person who comments correctly, and that team wins the Super Bowl. So one random person, comment who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, and you will be entered to win $1,000 if that happens, and if this video gets 1,000 likes. So be sure to share it wherever you can so that we can reach that goal. I do want to tell you, just a helpful hint, the Green Bay Packers are going to win the Super Bowl. So just go ahead and put that in the comment section and you'll be good to go. All right. I do have a Packers future as well. FanDuel offered a promo at the beginning of the year where they gave you $5 in bonus cash for every win that your team got. So I took the Packers, and currently they are the odds-on favorite at this particular point. So if you want to have a chance at $1,000, just comment the Green Bay Packers. It's just that simple. I talked about the live odds earlier. I do want to go back to that because, like I said, it's a tool that I use at night in the NBA. Currently, there are not any live odds. It looks like they have disappeared. But what I want to talk about with the live odds is oftentimes I will find myself, watching these NBA games or following them on my phone. And just the other night, the Pacers Hornets were playing. A positive EV play came up. Pacers Hornets under 228.5 plus 120. It was a positive EV play. I hit it. I kept watching the game. About midway through the third quarter, scoring had slowed way down, and the live total was 205. Now, it wasn't a plus EV play at over or under 205. I want to be clear there. But I had a 23-point middle opportunity. So I went ahead. I took the over 205. It landed 224. So that's just another way that you can use those live odds to your advantage, get a bet that's profitable, as a live bet, and then watch it and look for a middling opportunity. My strategy is I usually just, bet an amount on the initial live play, and then I come back with half of that amount if I'm looking to catch a middle. It doesn't work out all the time, but the times that it does, it's very nice, and it's been profitable for me. So that's just something that I wanted to point out. One last thing, going back over here to the profile page, you can put all your information in here. If there's sports that you want to exclude, you can exclude those here. If there are books that you want to exclude. So for example, like I don't use BetRivers here in Illinois. I use Barstool. They're both the same. So if I didn't want that to show up, I could just click BetRivers and then save my changes, and it would not show up. So you can do that. On the middles page, you can turn email notifications on to be alerted when certain middle opportunities pop up. You can also do the same on the positive EV page. One thing I want to point out on the positive EV page as well is I like to bet things in the 2 to 6% range. I've found that lowers the variance. So I like that 2 to 6% range, minus 140 to minus 150, but you can also play around with this and you can adjust these odds as well. And then the bet tracker, I mentioned that earlier, the closing line value notifications, make sure you have those on. Those have to be on if you want to make money here. Back over here to the plus EV page, I'm going to, we can see here, we've got some live plays here that are currently positive EV. So if you had your sports books up while you're watching this, you could be taking advantage of these. Here's one right here where the over 150.5 is a plus EV play. So this might be one that I would lock in on FanDuel, kind of follow the game. Maybe I can catch, under 163, under 164, and then maybe try to middle it. Obviously, I'm in the middle of doing this, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But I'm going to go through here and just look for some positive EV plays. I'm going to actually turn the player props off for this particular instance because I want to find something that I can actually bet for you guys. So UMass Lowell NJIT, this is first half. This market width is a little bit wider than what I would like to see. Hopefully we can start sorting this by market width to help you guys out as we go on here. Just kind of looking here to see if there's anything that I like. This one here, Arizona and Chicago. over under 5 goals, over under 6. So this market width here is about 26 cents. We've got about 5% of expected value. I know somebody's watching this stream, and I'm going to probably regret myself. I'm probably going to regret doing this, but I'm going to bet this under on this hockey game. I absolutely hate hockey totals, but it is plus EV, and it fits the market width. It's just slightly outside of it with 26 cents. But we'll hop over here to the hockey page, and we'll pull up that Blackhawks game. I believe it was. Let's see if I can find it here. Blackhawks Coyotes. Go to the game lines, find the alternate total goals under 6 minus 145. So I still have that free bet that I mentioned earlier. So we will go ahead and we will throw 100 here on the under 6. I'm absolutely terrible at hockey. I have the worst luck, even if it is from the plus EV page, but we will make that bet. It is profitable, and we'll refresh this again, just kind of scroll through. Not able to make this bet on UIC. This market width is way too high. But I'm in Illinois. We can't bet on college teams. Or we can't bet on Illinois college teams. So that's not a bet I can make. So I've got the Blackhawks here under the 6 minus 145. Let's see here if there's anything else that kind of stands out. We've got the Jets and the Bills. The Jets and the Bills under 39.5. So we'll go ahead and lock that in. We've got a 17-cent difference here. So Jets Bills under 39.5. We'll go ahead and lock that in for Monday. I will say with the positive EV betting, the closer you can bet to game time, usually the better, just because the market is a little bit more efficient. But the NFL is one market that I think is very efficient. Week in and week out, all the way through the week. So I'm not hesitant to lock this in today. So it was under 39.5, I believe it was, and it was plus 135. So we'll go ahead and bet this as well. It's a plus EV play. Go ahead and place that bet for 100. So we've got the Bills and the Jets under 39.5 plus 135. And then for tonight, we've got the Blackhawks and the Coyotes under 6 at minus 145. So go ahead and get these added to my bet tracker so that I can keep track of those and get an alert if they go worse than the closing line value. So I've got both of those in the bet tracker. At this time, I'm going to hop back over here. I'm going to quit sharing my screen. Any questions that you guys have, I'm more than happy to answer those for you. And we can definitely go back to this page as well if there's a question that somebody has that you want to see something again. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this and hop back over here to my recording studio. I'll take a look here at the comments here. Give me just a second here. So how does getting the best odds correlate to winning? So, I mean, long-term, if you are getting the best odds, you're going to win long-term. Getting the best of the number is the most important thing that you can do. If you're taking bad numbers, you're going to lose long-term. It's definitely going to happen. You have to get the best of the number. For those of you that have put some questions in here, this is pretty jammed up. It looks like I've got about 69 comments or so. If you can get those flowing in now, it'd be a lot easier for me to filter through those and answer some of your questions. So if you've got questions, feel free to throw those in. I'm just going to continue scrolling up here to see how close to game time should we start betting. So for example, this is kind of perfect. It's about 4:30. It's 4:30 where I'm at. So this is kind of about the time that I look to place bets. And, I think 2 hours, 3 hours before game time is definitely a good starting point. And then, you can kind of adjust from there. I will say that with COVID, things have been crazy. So, watch that. I mean, people are sitting out right and left. So pay attention to that though, because it's very important. If you lock in something early and a guy's injured, you might get that closing line value notification prior to the game starting, prior to the line moving, so that you can go cash your bet out. That's why the closing line value notifications are super, super important. As far as the rest goes here, again, I'm just kind of trying to scroll through Twitter here. So just give me a little bit of patience here as far as scrolling through here. Let's see here. So how do you manage your bankroll, add money to all of your accounts, or add to them as needed and withdraw as needed? So that's a great question. Managing your bankroll is very important. We have some videos out there on our OddsJam YouTube page that talk about managing your bankroll. You never want to bet, a big amount on one game. You need to manage your bankroll. As far as adding money goes, I mean, I would suggest if you have multiple sports books trying to keep those balances even. When I started here in Illinois back in May, I started out with $1,000 in each of the 3 accounts that I was using. That was Barstool, DraftKings, and FanDuel. So that was how I kind of balanced my accounts. And then I just bet accordingly based on my bankroll with the positive EV. Does OddsJam have an app? Not yet. We hopefully will have one soon. Let's see here. Anybody else with some questions? If you've got any questions, feel free to keep those rolling in. I'd love to answer those for you. If you've asked a question and I've missed it, please make sure you email me, Randall@oddsjam.com. I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. Not seeing any new questions pop up. So if you've got anything, again, please feel free to share your questions so that I can get those in. The tennis one, I noticed somebody commented that one. That was an ARB. I believe it was to the over. I think that one has definitely gone off by now. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys, tuning in to this. Hopefully you learn something from this video, the features and the tools that we have at OddsJam. As always, email me, Randall@oddsjam.com. Make sure you're following us on Twitter @OddsJam. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, remember, if this video gets 1,000 likes and whatever team you comment wins the Super Bowl, and you're correct, one of you will win $1,000. So I'm assuming everybody's going to put the Green Bay Packers. So not everybody's going to win $1,000 when Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers win the Super Bowl this year. But one person will. One random person will win. So make sure you comment that, like the page, like the video. Appreciate all of your guys' support. And, as Randall always says, well, that's me. Always be plus EV. Thanks, guys.